Hi, my name is Tesla and I share my financial journey on YouTube, and I'm preparing my 2023 financial intentions. This is my first time on camera on this channel, so I hope it's not as weird seeing me on camera as it feels as weird to be on camera. Along with my intentions and my goals, I thought about sharing my, journey before YNAB and like my money mindset and experiences that have shaped my money mindset, but then that would make it even longer and I didn't know if anyone would care about that sort of thing, but if you think that would be interesting, let me know. Okay, so I guess we can start. My first goal is a consumer-free debt goal because I have a card that is interest-free until April of 2023. I have not been paying it off because I'd rather the money just earn interest in my account. I have been paying off the debt in small increments so I don't hit my limit, but in March I will pay it fully off with the money I have set aside, or April I think it is. And then after April I want to pay it in full every single month and never pay interest. Oh my God, talking on camera is exhausting. My income goal is I want a raise to at least $70,000. My supervisors did tell me that I would get a much more significant raise than the 7% raise I got in 2022. But that is a really long time from now, and the company budget is ultimately out of my control, so I am basing all my estimations on my 2022 income. I get paid the exact same dates every single month, so I have laid out all my paychecks in the budget sheets that I will show you. I've customized my categories, and then I listed out my sinking funds. Then I go to the budget tab, which is where I have my salary, which includes enough to cover the pre-tax investments that I track in the budget. It doesn't include other tax deductions like health insurance, Social Security, all that stuff, so it is not my full gross salary. I should put this down. I have my 2022 average earnings of $50 a month on interest. I expect to make more if the federal government keeps up the current interest rates. However, if they can hike it up so quickly, they can take it away just as quickly, so $50 average. I also tend to get about $30 in cash back each month. I also expect to get work bonuses, birthday and Christmas gifts, and then possibly do some side jobs, but I would just rather under budget and solely rely on my salary because other things are not as promised. And in 2022, I had a roommate to split expenses with. I don't know that I want one for 2023, and I'm not going to base my plans around one because it just sucks to rely on other people. It's stressful, and if you rent to someone destructive, you end up in the negative. Anyway, so I am leaving the roommate category empty. There is also a rollover section because I wasn't sure where else to put this, but in December 2022, I got a $1,000 raise, and I saved half of it in 2022, but I set aside $521 so I could get ahead on my Roth IRA in 2023. So in total, my income, I'm expecting to make at least $54,922, which is considerably less than I had to work with in 2022. After I figured out my income, I went to the sinking funds tab, which is a lifesaver. The sinking fund table calculates how many paychecks I have to reach that goal based on my start and end dates. For example, I have several of my memberships renewing in November instead of December, so I have fewer paychecks to save the $1,150. It tells me how much I should save for each paycheck, which YNAB will tell me when I set up my goals, so it's really just there for cross-reference. And what I appreciate that YNAB doesn't do is it separates my starting balance from how much I saved this year and then how much I have in total. So it'll also tell me how much further I have to go, how close I am to reaching the goal by the fund, and then it totals everything at the bottom. And if you also note the color coding, in 2022 I had ambitious goals, but I forgot to account for the fact that sinking funds get spent. So did I save $910 for my yoga membership throughout the year? Yes. But did my net worth increase by $910 at the end of the year? No, because I spent it like I thought I would. To account for that, the goals in blue show that I plan to empty those funds to zero. The goal information is still there to help guide me, but it should actually technically be zero because that's what I plan to have at the end of the year. And then the green goals are goals where I want to keep it steady. I'm not planning to add to them, but I'm not planning to subtract from them. And then if I do subtract from them, I will try to replenish them. Vacation is the only one that may go down and I may not replenish it. Maybe also technology, but I'm keeping those flexible because I probably have more money in those categories than necessary anyway. In total, it says I need to save $3,803 over 2023, but to account for the fact that I am not keeping all of it, I went into my budget and I put the bi-monthly contribution numbers it suggested. Then I anticipated my spending and withdrawals. So for example, if I want to keep my dog's vet fund at $600, but I have his semi-annual vet appointments for $400 each, which is probably an overestimation, but I need to make sure I make up for that throughout the rest of the year so it stays at $600 even though I spent for it. So in the sinking fund, it'll say minus $400. And then I went to the spending fund and you'll see that it says I spent $400. So it like matches each other, you know? I hope that makes sense. I think the math is mathing this time. Therefore, by December 2023, I hope to keep $937. So I'm not going to be passively budgeting. I'm still going to use YNAB for reference to update these numbers every time I budget because I don't believe in a one budget month fits all. This is just a starting place. It's a lot to keep track of and a lot to look at, and I'd like to walk you through each goal. So I've input my numbers into this prettier sheet that I will also have linked into the description. I am fortunate to already have quite a large sum of cash as a starting balance, $38,469, and that's because I am not risk tolerant, which is why I still want to add to it. I don't know what amount of cash it is going to take for me to feel safe and comfortable. I just know that I am not there. I am actually reducing my goal from last year drastically. I was saving $600 a month for most of 2022, but in 2023, I'm expecting to save $350 at most. I got rid of my master's degree fund and my future house down payment fund. I still want those things, but they always got neglected. They never got any money, and that money in those categories was better served elsewhere, like getting a month ahead. Even though I got rid of those two, I added one more fund back in. It is the only new sinking fund, and it is to decorate my house. Everyone who's ever visited has said how it's empty and it feels cold because there's no place cozy to sit. There's nothing visual to look at. It's really bare bones, and I would like to change that. I've been looking at Pottery Barn, West Elm, Room and Board, and it turns out furniture is really expensive. My initial goal is to save up $1,216, but it turns out that is basically how much a chair can cost. So I'm going to keep gathering inspiration, saving, and see what I can get secondhand. I would actually like to increase this one and, make my entire house a home, but I think it's going to take a lot of time. It might become a multi-year goal, but I just want to start off with the living room. I tried to save $300 for Christmas in 2022, but I did not get that far. I only saved $170, so you would think that if I didn't match it in 2022 that I should not raise it to $500 in 2023, but that is how much I spent on Christmas in 2022, and it doesn't make sense to under budget and then overspend without cover, so I am just going to have to prioritize it more this year. I'm going to save $1,150 for memberships, and that includes Notion, YNAB, and yoga. When it comes to yoga, I am going to see if there is something else, depending on how committed I am this year, and if I fall off of it, which does tend to happen, I'm going to take that as a sign to switch to gym or Pilates or something and reallocate that money to something new if I'm not taking full advantage of yoga. So I have $20 right now, and to reach my goal, I need to contribute $113 every month, which might be tricky from time to time because in 2022, I did not complete that fund. I pulled from a different savings category to make up the difference. But I don't want to get into the mindset of I'm not going to try something again just because I didn't do it last time. I don't want to think that just because something is difficult, that doesn't mean it's okay to keep lowering the bar. I want to be realistic and commit to what I can actually do, but I do think discipline and getting creative with your finances to make up for something when it doesn't always work, I want to just see what I can do. When it comes to medical care, my HSA deductible is $4,000. I'm not going to aim for that. That's really high. And I am saying it here and now. I am determined to go to therapy in 2023. I don't know what my health insurance covers, what it doesn't. I have tried contacting my HR, my health plan. No one seems to have any information just yet. I actually want psychiatry. I don't know how much that's going to cost. And I don't know if there's going to be other circumstances where I need to pay for my health care. But I figure I should just incrementally raise this category since my deductible is really high. I spent a total of $423 on healthcare in 2023, and probably half of that was like toiletries and not even actually health related. So I'm not too worried about needing that much for my health, but without my mom's healthcare as a safety net, America is a much scarier place, but I want at least $1,000 or about $42 a month set aside for it. My emergency fund is probably my longest term goal. I would like to eventually hit $25,000 because that's a little less than 6 months income for me, but I'm okay with reaching it really slowly because I have the bulk of it already. But I want to have it grown to $21,600, which is an easy $457 difference by the end of 2023. Now, if I happen to make more income, I do have a stretch goal and it would be $22,000, but I'm not going to disappoint myself and lose momentum by setting the bar too high. I have $2,500 in my month ahead fund and I only use that for bills, and I'm comfortable letting it stay that amount instead of growing it because I don't actually budget a month ahead. I may even lower it to $2,000 since I don't really need the full month. I'm not sure yet. Chip has $600 for his fund and the stretch goal would be $800, but I think $600 really is enough for his regular vet appointments throughout the year, and it's achievable for me to keep $600 for him at all times. And if something happens to him where it's really severe and expensive, it'll probably just come from my emergency fund, but I think $600 is enough to keep him set for 2023 because anything besides his vet appointments, I easily cash flow. I tend to also cash flow anything for my car, but I do have $1,000 in auto care because that is what my insurance deductible is. It's just because if I have to pay out any repairs, I have to cover that first $1,000 before my insurance stepped in. I would like to have enough also to cover my tires someday, but I'm not going to pressure myself about that right now. And then the rest are goals that I am fine with keeping the same amount because I don't want to forget about them, that I have them, but I don't want to prioritize them or change them. Again, I might pull from vacations and not replenish it. Like if I want to go to a concert or something, I'll probably pull from vacations because I am more interested in maintaining my serotonin than a specific number. If y'all have been with me for a while, you know that I decided 2022 was going to be my year of spending experiment, and I'm not really ready to get off that train because I still think I'm being generally responsible in balancing my fun money versus my needs. Treatments is what I have wanted for over 10 years, and that is lip injections, but they can cost over $1,000, and I want to take care of my higher priority goals first. I am going to keep it on my mind and stash what I have so far, but I'm not expecting to contribute to that unless my other categories are completed. And I don't really like putting it off and off because I do believe that I can get it done one day. It might not end up being 2023, that's okay. I'm keeping major repairs on the list because, as you saw in 2022, home ownership is expensive and often difficult, and there is always going to be something that I have to fix. For technology, early last year, I said I wanted a desktop with monitors. I never went for it, but it is still on my wish list. I might pull the trigger this year. I'll see about refilling it. I'm not sure if I want to. Because it's not just for my technology wish list, it's also for my phone, which came out in 2018, has been discontinued. There are no more updates. It's glitchy, the storage sucks, and I want a new phone. I'm going to try to keep my phone until 2024 because that means because by then I'll have had it 6 years. The phone churning industry is not very sustainable, which I don't like, and I always buy my phone secondhand, so by that time I am expecting some pretty good phones on the market. But yeah, vacations and technology, we'll just have to see if I pull from them and then decide to replenish. Altogether, that is 12 sinking fund goals, but 7 of them are just trying to keep things the same and not rocking the boat. So it is actually 5 sinking goals. It is so much more doable than what I tried to do last year because in 2022 I had 13 sinking fund goals and they were all active, and then I had investment goals on top of that, so it ended up being 17 goals altogether. So of course I did not reach every single one of them, and things changed along the way, which is totally fine. Another thing that changed from 2022 to 2023 was my investments. So last year I invested $1,300 a month, sometimes a little more, but unfortunately that was just too aggressive once I lived by myself. I would love to stay at that level, and if I ever got extra money, it would be my stretch goal to at least max out my HSA, but I don't want my money to like stress me out and make me feel like I don't have enough. I have decided to invest $1,181 a month, which still kind of feels like a stretch, especially because I am not a compromising person when it comes to adjusting my investing goals. I actually well exceeded my investing goal in 2022, but then I just kept moving the goalposts and I refused to budge my monthly investment amount, even though I could have and just put it in savings. I'm just serious about investing, and much like last year, this is set in stone. Like, I have to make my investment goal, even if it means pulling from my sinking funds. So my sinking funds, they're very flexible. I will reflect on them every quarter to see if I need to change something, but my investing is non-negotiable, just like last year. And I know that going from 1,300 to 1,181 doesn't sound like a huge difference, but at the end of the year, that's investing $14,180, which is $1,428 less than last year. Looking forward, I have 3 investment vehicles in 2023, and they are all tax advantaged. I am hitting my 401k match for $320 a month. I'm not trying to hit that early or anything. It's a percentage based on my income, so that's a target of $3,840. I don't want to pick every single item in that 401k, so it's a managed fund and it's just set to aggressive. The same thing for my 2023 HSA maximum. The 2023 HSA maximum is $3,850, but it's a maximum, not a minimum, right? So I had to take a step back and realize that just because there is a goal doesn't mean I have to hit that maximum. So I plan to contribute $3,840. Like my HSA and 401k, my Roth IRA is also a managed fund. I have been meaning to change that, and I probably will change it in 2023, but I just want to make sure that whatever I change it to is like what I want to actually stick with. That is not a good look. Should not have done that. So the maximum Roth IRA in 2023 is $6,500. So in total, if I invest $14,180, I expect that to be like 26% of my income, which I think is like a really acceptable number. The HSA is new for me, and I'm not only changing the vehicles I'm investing in, I am also changing what I track about them. I am not going to track my investments as frequently as I did. I still will reconcile my investments accounts on YNAB, but I think I'll do that monthly as opposed to every paycheck. And then outside of YNAB, I was writing down every single investment purchase, the date, the symbol, the shares, the purchase price, like everything. And it got really tedious because I would also track the buys and sells in my 401k, even though that was out of my control. And I think from now on, I'm just going to update a quarterly Google Sheet that I bought on YouTube or wherever I bought it from. It's from a YouTuber called Dividendology. I'll link it below if you're interested, but I'd rather just get a bird's eye view every quarter rather than trying to track every single thing every time something happens, because I invest twice a month and it's just too much to keep up with. Plus, throughout the year, I plan to share my quarterly updates and my portfolio so the timing still works out. Other things is I still want to get rid of my public account and move those assets into another brokerage. It's a fine platform, but I just don't see the need to have so many accounts, and I can't move it to another account unless I have a certain amount of money in that account, which I don't. So hopefully in 2023, I will accrue that amount of money, and then transferring it will be fee-free. Another thing I need to jump back on the horse with is a long time ago, I started the process of rolling my 403b into my 401k. I called all the companies to make sure it wouldn't trigger a taxable event. I actually got the paperwork and the signatures, but then I never got around to mailing it because apparently, even though we're in 2022, we still have to use checks and mail things with stamps, and I just never did any of that. So I should probably, it's not a huge barrier, right? I should just do the thing. I should just do it. I also wanted to invest more into a company called Fundrise because even during the market crashes, it always had a small positive return this entire time. I don't know that I'm going to have the flexibility to do any after-tax investing because I feel like it's pretty packed in between my 3 things that I am already doing. But maybe if I have leftover cash, I can do that, or maybe buy more into crypto, or even go for some I-bonds. But lastly, to make this all happen, to be able to hit my investments and sinking fund goals, I need to keep track of how much I spend. So by simple subtraction, that came to spending $38,180 in 2023, which is a little over $3,000 per month. So as of December 27th, I am too close to the camera, I am estimating that I will spend $42,000 in 2022. And that's a big difference. That's almost a $4,000 difference. But I had to replace my washer and dryer, which I won't have to do next year. That was $400. I had to pay to get my kitchen rewired. That was nearly $1,700. Again, one-time expense. I had to fix my fridge, which was almost $600. I don't anticipate doing that again. I got ticketed and towed, and that was $400. And then when I got into my accident in January, that was $1,000. So like, those were mishaps that if they didn't happen, I would already be at that $38,000 goal. And I'm not saying that other mishaps can't happen in next year, but hopefully they're cheaper. So I am spending about 71% of my income, which seems really high, but I think a 70-30 spending versus saving range is pretty appropriate for my age and my income. I'm not gonna try to figure out what should I spend between my wants and my needs, because it's gonna be really close to my 2022 averages, and I trust my budget by paycheck process and YNAB to keep me in line instead of trying to predict all of those smaller details right now. Whew, okay. This was tough for me. If you made it this far, congratulations. I am setting you free. Take a bathroom break. Hopefully you didn't watch this video while already in the bathroom. I don't know why I said that. Man, in all seriousness, I hope this provided some insight into how I set my financial goals and how I plan to write out the new year, and maybe it even gave you some ideas. I hope you have clarity, luck, and wealth in the new year, and I hope the same thing for me. I am also considering sharing my personal goals as well, but I might be feeling a little shy, so I don't know. Let me know if you like me being on camera. I feel like this was kind of a disaster, but that's okay. That's my life. That's me. Should I show you my dog? This probably really fucked up the mic. Anyway, I just wanted him to say hello to you. I am gonna do a 2022 review and go over my goals once this year is over, and I'll probably do that one off camera because this took a lot more time than I thought it would. That's okay. All right, bye.